Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I was gonna make this video a couple days ago, but I am going to make it today. I think it's kind of a sensitive topic. So I was like, I'm not really sure that I wanna make this video, but I think it's an important video to make. And I kind of teased it out a couple days ago where I was talking about, be careful when you're in public and you're saying things of who you're offending and all that kind of stuff. But it happened to me again today in the pool. It didn't happen to me personally, but it happened to, I don't know, like it would have offended like friends of mine from the past. And so, let me explain what happened. Well, first of all, years ago, my mother was in a restaurant and she heard some kids talking about me. And they were saying, very cruel things about me, being gay and all that kind of stuff, but not using those words, using really, really harsh words. And my mom's way of addressing it was to just kind of like put it out of mind, like out of sight, out of mind. Like she didn't hear it. She didn't even actually bring it up to me till a long time later, And she said to me when I came out, she was like, I don't know, it was probably 6 months after I came out, she told me the story of being in this restaurant and she heard these kids talking about me and how bad it hurt her for me. And one of the reasons why I never told my mother that I was gay, like until I came out, because I didn't want her to know what I was going through in school. I knew that it would have pained her for me, and I didn't want her to have to go through that. So I just didn't come home and say, Mom, I'm going through this, Mom, I'm going through that, or whatever. And I actually think that's a good point, when we're talking about bullying, to say to your kids or to whoever, don't worry about how I'm going to respond to this, okay? We will figure out a response together, but don't protect me. Because that was a big concern of mine of why I didn't tell my parents that I was being bullied, was I was protective of them, if that makes sense. But that's not what this is about. This is about the fact that when we were at the airport the other day, we're standing there, my husband has a hat on backwards and sunglasses on. And he's sitting there and, he's just, I don't know, dressed very normally for the airplane, I guess. And, these people were behind us, and I told this whole video, I don't even really know how to get into this and why I even said what he had on. I just think that people's stereotypical perceptions of the world, are like, they expect someone to look a certain way or be a certain way. But we're sitting there, and this couple behind us literally nonstop complained the entire time that we were in line. I think I did a video about this. I know I did a video about this a couple days ago, talking about positivity and gratitude. Well, as we got to the halfway mark, the comments somehow got into the fact, they started talking about the women that were working at the counter, these two women that were actually the flight attendants, and they were Latino, and they started making Latino jokes. And I'm saying that very politically correct. I mean, they were ruthless. They were talking about, Latinos being stupid, Latinos being, poor, Latinos being slow. My husband is literally sitting right there, okay? I mean, you should have seen the look on his face. And this kind of shit doesn't bother him. He was just sitting there, he was like this the whole time behind sunglasses. I was waiting, okay, for him to pick up the phone and call his mother and start speaking in Spanish. I was like, let these people have it, right? He doesn't go there. He lets nobody have power over him. He really doesn't. And it's one of the greatest lessons I've learned. But you see, I still need to be taught that lesson, right? These people went on, I mean, it was ruthless. They were like, making fun of Latino names, and they're like, oh, there's this guy, and he works at the gas station, and blah, 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 whatever, and, he's so lucky that he has a job there, and all that. It just, you guys, it was just unbelievable that I was sitting there having to listen to this, and, in that moment, I felt so strongly for my husband. I've dealt with that kind of shit, okay? When you're standing in a store and somebody's making, gay jokes or all that. I've been sitting at a dinner table when somebody's made a gay joke when they know that I'm gay, and they think that's okay. There is nothing okay about that. Why do you think I'm your joke? Why am I your joke? You think it's more important to get somebody to laugh than to make me feel bad about who I am? You think that's important to you? You need to check yourself. And I'm standing in line, and I am so close to saying something about this, and Alex, he knew, right? And he looked at me and he goes, and I looked down at he had texted me, and I looked down at my phone, he said, don't say anything. And he had said something previous, he's like, these people, whatever. But later, when we got away from them, they also sat right next to us on the plane. But later we were talking about it, and Alex is like, I've dealt with that, like, ever since, you know, why do you think this is something new for me? And I'm like, just because it's something new doesn't mean that you should have to tolerate it. And he goes, no, you're absolutely right. I shouldn't. He goes, but I do. And he goes, I'm not going to change people's minds. The only way I'm going to change people's minds, Peter, is like what you say. Allow them to get to know me and see that I am no different than they are. You know, and it reminds me of when I watched this okay, so years ago when Schindler's List, I talked about this on my vlog many, many times. When Schindler's List won the Best Picture, that year a documentary about the concentration camps won. And they had a survivor that was in the movie that she like told her story. They gave her the Oscar and she stood up and she said, for the last 50 years, I have asked myself every day, why me? I am no different. And I think it's a really valuable lesson we need to learn in this world. You know, we're all just human beings. We're all just people. We're all just trying to get by on a daily basis. Why do we have to be cruel? Why do we have to point out differences? Why can't we just love each other a little bit more? I've never, ever understood that. I've never understood what is to gain by making fun of somebody different than us, just because they're different. Just because of that. About things that we can't even change, okay? About who we love or where we're born or what family we're born into and where we live and those kinds of things. Can't change those kinds of things, you know what I mean? And yet we think it's appropriate to make jokes about that. Well, that says a lot more about the person telling the joke than it does about the person the joke is about. And really, the joke's on them, because it's rather sad and it's rather sick that those are the people that would say things like that. Like, what does that say about you? And would you want people talking about your kids that way? And it breaks my heart. And I think it's a very valuable lesson for all of us that we have to learn when you're not just in public, I guess, but wherever you are, be considerate of what you're saying. Think about how it might feel to that person if they were standing right there, because many times they are. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.